Hey folks, Doug Blake with Body Design University here to help you pass your ACE exam, perhaps on the first attempt or second or wherever you're at. I'm going to help you with a particular topic today, stages of change, all right, the TTM or the trans theoretical model. And as always, my hats go off to the students that are asking these questions because you're struggling for the most part, not just with the concepts on how to answer the questions, but then many times you also get the sort of the follow-up question, Doug, by the way, how would I use that in the real world? And so I kind of navigate, both sides of this. I want you to pass that exam, but guess what? I also want you to be an industry leading personal trainer. Ultimately, you got to help people, and the TTM or the stages of change model can be very, very helpful. Of course, ACE, I think correctly, puts it in the front of their textbook. Why? Because in order to even to get people to start exercising and leading a health and wellness-based lifestyle, it's probably helpful to know where they're at psychologically, right? That's what the stages of change model actually helps you to do. It helps you to understand. Now, remember, the 5 stages of change, these are psychological constructs, okay? Quite often, we can't really tell where a person is at just by looking at their behavior. Sometimes we can, sometimes it's pretty much of a challenge. You got to talk to them. You've got to ask them questions. And that's why ultimately understanding the stages of change can be very beneficial once you actually get into the real world. But from a testing perspective, here's what you have to remember, and just keep in mind over and over again, I say the same thing. First of all, do you know what your learning style or dominant style of learning is? Okay. I use this all the time. It's not the end all, but it can be very helpful for those folks that get frustrated studying visual, audiological, tactile, reading, writing, all of these different ways of understanding how people actually engage material and memorize it. Remember, memorization is the beginning of learning. You've got to memorize the information. That's why you're studying. Get it into your gray matter. You got to get it in there. This way you can, quote, regurgitate it, I guess, if you want to use that term when you're taking an exam. You can answer the questions. That's the goal. So stages of change, chapter 3. I've got my hardcover textbook, behavioral change. I also have the digital, which I'm going to pull up here for you in a second. But generally, you're going to go to chapter 3. I think it's page 70 or 71. You'll kind of go through that. Your study methodology should be in line with that way or ways that are most beneficial. I'll recommend, if you're a visual learner, use colored markers. Draw things, draw pictures, anything that will help you with that visual acuity component. And by the way, everybody, I don't care whether you're visual, audiological, or tactile, that's a pen, okay? You've got to read it, rewrite it. Not everybody needs to recite it, but I always put that together. Read, write, recite. Read, write, recite. Read it, rewrite it, or say it out loud while you're rewriting it, or take your phone and record yourself saying it out loud so you can listen to yourself if you're an audiological learner. Okay. Not everybody is. Blank paper, I always use this, and lined paper. I've already drawn a couple of things on this as if I was writing out the study material. But when you go to chapter 3 and you get to I think it's page 70, I'm going to look at it in a second. When you get there, as always, how much time do you have before you take the test? How much time do you have to study every day? You can read through the material. Fortunately, ACE gives you a table that, for the most part, takes care of this memorization process for you. Because the question that I hear from students, and just recently heard from a student, was, how do I know how to discern whether or not a person is in one of these 5 stages of change? Table 3.1 gives you the answer. And let me go ahead and pull that up for you and kind of show you how you can sort of decipher or discern what this is. So here we are, page 70, table 3.1, the stages of behavioral change. Now remember, stages of change is just one of 4 components of the trans theoretical model. I've done other videos that can help you to understand these guys as well. But the stages of change part, there's 5 of them. Write them down. Make sure you write and rewrite so that you know what they are without even looking. Pre-contemplation, contemplation, preparation, action, and maintenance, again and again and again until you're dreaming about it in your sleep. And then you're just not going to have to worry about it at that point, right? But here's sort of the tip to keep in mind. Table 3.1, stages of behavioral change. So if you look, you can see me on the video here as well. I've got my pen. I'm just going to write and rewrite these 5 stages. So I've got to go from page 71 to page 72. And right, I can just toggle back and forth. Of course, if you've got your textbook, you can do it with that. But here's what I want you to do. Here's kind of the tip to keep in mind with preparation, pre-contemplation. Now, what ACE gives you are traits, goals, and strategies. They are all very, very helpful in the real world. But here's what I want you to think, and you're going to write it and rewrite this down. What is it when a person is in the pre-contemplative state? How do you know? Well, the answer is they are unaware or they don't care. That's normally why I do it. Look, I don't use the word under-aware. I mean, honestly, it sounds too much like underwear, doesn't it? So I ain't going to use that. Okay. I'm a professional. So that doesn't make any sense to me. So I'm going to use my own terms. I'm going to say not knowing, unaware, whatever adjective you want to use for that. They're unaware of the problem. They believe that the problem can't be solved, right? So this individual in pre-contemplation, they don't care. They don't know. They just don't want to know. They're not interested in doing exercise, changing their nutrition habits, whatever. They're just not interested. Easy enough. The goal component of it is just to increase awareness. That's basically what you're doing with people in pre-contemplation, if you even butt up against them. Generally, personal trainers do not, because these people are not coming to your personal training business. They're not coming to health clubs. Okay. They don't find any interest in that particular behavioral change, i.e., going from no exercise to starting to exercise. And you know people like that. Contemplation is, what's the difference? Unaware people in contemplation are aware of whatever problem it is they have. They're not exercising. They have a diseased state. They have diabetes, whatever the case is, high blood pressure. And they're aware of not only are they aware of the problem, okay, they actually start to say, what are the benefits of exercising and eating well versus not? Okay. And that's a critical component for people that are in the contemplative, right? They are, by definition, contemplating this. They contemplate the idea. I'm not saying they will exercise. I'm not saying they're going to buy your services. I'm not saying they're going to do anything different, but at least remember, these are psychological constructs that a person is in, and therefore they're actually thinking about it, but they have little to no understanding. They have no clue how to do this, right? Some of these are folks that you may know, family members and friends that are like, yeah, I'd love to work out. Oh, I've been thinking about working out. Those people are in contemplation, okay? And again, those are the traits. What are your goals? You can start to actually talk to these individuals, right? Collaboratively explore available options, right? So classic question that ACE might give you, and by the way, you'll probably see a fair number of questions on your exam on this. You're on the phone with somebody and they're interested, but they're not really sure about the money. They're not really sure about this. You just hear the word not sure, not sure, not sure. That's a person in contemplation. They're just unsure of how to, or the way they're going to, perhaps even if, make the behavior change. So that's contemplation. Then you have what's known as preparation. This is the big change. People that move from contemplation into preparation have psychologically turned the switch on to where they want to do it. They actually want to make the behavior change. They want to start exercising. These are the people that sign up to health clubs in January, the millions and millions of people. They sign up. They have no clue what they're doing, but at least they were preparing, right? No, they're not in the action stage. And this is what people think, that if you actually signed up at the health club, you're in the action stage. No. People that are in the preparation stage, quite often, depending on their personalities, will jump ahead and they'll buy a membership. And guess what? They will never do. They will never step in that health club again. Okay. I've run a wellness center. Trust me, I know this. It's one of the ways that the fitness industry, health clubs in particular, have always made their money, by people being in preparation that never move into the action stage. No, preparation is not simply thinking about and preparing. Some people will literally jump forward, pay money, do these things, but never actually start the new behavior for any length of time. So preparation is generally, people are now, they're looking for ways to change their behavior, right? So exercise wise, they're looking for ways. Should I join Gold's Gym? Should I join LA Fitness? Should I get a personal trainer? Should I just buy, some piece of equipment off of Amazon and start working on it at home, right? This is the preparation. They may have bought the equipment, believe it or not, or maybe they didn't. They may have signed up at the health club. Maybe they haven't. Those people are in preparation. So with those individuals, you kind of start working on an action plan. Let me help you to actually strategize how to now start exercising. The way you're going to do that is by taking out your credit card and paying for my services, right? That's going to be a great way to get you into the action stage, is to get you to sign up for my services. So strategies you can read, identify, and assist with problem-solving obstacles. I'm just going to tell you right now, this sounds great on paper, but the reality is you're going to basically get the client, assist this individual. You're going to assist them in taking action now. That's why we now have the action stage, self-explanatory. They now have signed up for your services, for the most part, if it's going to be personal training clients, obviously. And they start to exercise. They start coming in on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday to train. They start coming in on Monday and Tuesdays and Thursdays, whatever the case is. And they have actually started the behavior. Okay. So we know that these individuals are in the action stage. Yes, they're changing their beliefs and attitudes. Sure. But for the most part, the reality is that the action stage is for those indicative of individuals that have actually started exercising, maybe even started changing their nutrition, okay, or even stopped smoking. These are all the different components of behavioral change. Establish a new behavior as a habit, right? Okay, I need to call you. I need to make sure you're coming in on a regular basis. This is a goal that you want to establish with an individual. Strategies, again, general concepts here that ACE uses on their bullet points. Empower clients, right? Sure, we're helping them. You need to come in and train. Then no, you can't get away with, well, I can't make it today. Then you need to reschedule. That's the real way you get people to maintain the action stage. Why? Because now we want to help them move into what's known as maintenance, which means they've been doing the behavior consistently, regularly for a specific period of time. Normally we'll say 6 months, but there are others who will say 6 weeks is fine. Me, it's basically 6 months. You got to be doing the behavior for a significant amount of time to make it a structured routine in your life. And that's what we're basically saying here. Good capability to deal with lapses. And this is one of the things, by the way, people in the maintenance stage, you got to help with, which is avoiding boredom, burnout, and going through lapses. People will go on vacation. They've been training with you for a year. They go on vacation and then they don't come back. I've seen that happen. Well, we got to get them back in. Those are some of the strategies. Make sure they are being consistent and they are enjoying their workouts. These are just some of the things to keep in mind. I hope that was helpful, because when we talk about the stages of change from a testing perspective, you can get those answers right. Okay. The question says an individual is blah, 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 and they say this, this, and this. You should immediately pick up on those terms, those concepts that are being spoken about, to immediately say this individual is in pre-contemplation. This individual is in the maintenance stage, just as a for instance. But in the real world, I'm just saying, in the real world, when you start talking to people and they do sign up and they're in the action stage, that's the time you really have to hang on to them and help them to develop a structured routine, so that on a daily basis, they are incorporating these new behaviors, i.e. exercise. Look, as always, we're here to help you to pass the ACE exam. I hope this was helpful. Stages of change is very important. You're going to see questions on it for sure on the exam. Also keep in mind that once you pass your exam, Body Design University, we have a 2-week live course. Okay. And that's where you're going to learn everything you need to know to not only deal with the business components of personal training, but also the nutrition, obviously the anatomy, phys, exercise, and all the other elements that go into being an industry leading personal fitness trainer. So once you pass, you got to move into the real world. That's what we're here to help you with. Again, always keep in mind, we are here to help you. So subscribe, look at the information below if you want more information on the Body Design University 2-week live course, and just let us know in the comment sections if you have other remarks or questions related to not only this particular topic, but any topic related to the ACE 6th edition textbook. Let us know how we can be of assistance. Always great being with you. See you next week. Bye.